Hello, Sabrina.
Hey, Jason.
Welcome back to 20-Minute Event Profs Marketing Live. We do this every Wednesday at 12 o'clock or 12:30, depending on the day. We'll let you know in advance. I'm Jason Greenman from Macomo. I'm here with my partner in social media crime, the wonderful Sabrina Myers from Hot Hospitality Exchange. In previous episodes, we opened up the big can of worms that is hashtags.
Hashtags.
And we've decided to keep rolling with it because there was a great response to it, some excellent questions. We only have time for about 2 of the questions today because we're going to speak about a couple other topics and hashtags. But let me throw the ball straight over to you. Start the timer. And let's go with the first question that came in, Sabrina, was now in LinkedIn, a lot of social media networks. Sorry, my brain's a bit off today. We can tag companies or hashtag companies. And
right.
The question was basically, what is the difference and when should I use one or the other?
Excellent. That's a great question. I believe it was from Julie, correct?
That's right.
On the comment section of our last live. So if you didn't catch that live, be sure to watch the replay so you can kind of put the pieces together. It'll be a much bigger picture with this version. So a very, very good question. Thank you very much, Julie. I did put a bit of the answer into the comments section. But a tag is very different from a hashtag. Essentially, a tag is the identification of your account. It's your handle, it's your username. So when you tag an account, and the example that she used was Acomo. So the question was, when do you use @Acomo versus when do you use hashtag Acomo? Now, when you are creating content, whatever it may be, most cases you would use a tag, which is the handle and the username of another account, or your account even, when you specifically want to, I guess, get on the radar of whoever it is that you are posting about. So it's very similar on LinkedIn, where instead of writing the person's name, you put @ and you put Sabrina Myers, which means that the other side of the LinkedIn sphere or the Instagram sphere in this little online world that we live in, a notification will pop up on my account feed saying that someone's tagged me, which then means that I will get, it will make me notice and it will make me go and see who it was that tagged me. And so in a way, it's kind of indirect marketing. Would you agree, Jason? It's kind of trying to like tag people and get their attention and bring that attention to your account. So that's when you would tag an account. So if you want, for example, on Twitter to make a complaint about an airline, for example, you would tag the airline. So you would say @BA, right? Or @Virgin Atlantic, because then they would know, it would come up on their notification feed and they would have a notification letting them know that someone has tagged them. And so it's almost like tapping someone on the shoulder and going, hey, I've got something to tell you, listen to me. And that's basically a tag. So that's when you would use a tag. You can use a tag and a hashtag together. So for example, a hashtag Acomo would be a branded hashtag, which is what we're going to touch upon a little bit later. So hashtag Acomo, you would put into all your posts. For example, on Instagram, you would have hashtag Acomo as one of the 15 to 30 hashtags that you would be using per post. You might even put it as one of the hashtags for your LinkedIn post or on your Twitter post. It just depends how you want to be using that hashtag. Now, we are going to touch on popularity, which will be the next question. But that's sort of an idea of how you use a tag and when you use a tag and when you use a hashtag. You can use the two together. It doesn't often happen that you tag yourself and you put your own hashtag. Usually you tag another account. And then you can put the hashtag of that account, as well as in your own posts, you can put your own hashtag as well. So I hope that clarifies.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think the big difference is exactly, you touched on it when you said, when you talked about the notifications. In my mind, if I want to get a direct a direct connection to somebody, I'll tag
Mhm.
them. So if you want to
Exactly.
directly connect with the I don't know, the brand or a person that's on socials, that's when I would use a tag. You want them to actually see a notification pop up on their socials to see that they've been tagged in a post. It's really powerful actually because it can really help with engagement to have people to tag them. Some of the best performing posts I've seen are the ones where somebody's tagged, 4 or 5 or 6 different people. Now I wouldn't tag 100 because then it just looks like spam, but
Yeah.
use tagging correctly, it's good. The flip side of that is the hashtags, like you said, and I mean, it's really about the search, right? So just
Yeah.
because you hashtag a como, unless they're monitoring the hashtag, they may not know.
Exactly.
But if you tag them, they'll get a notification. So I think those are the two. That's kind of the big difference there. Is one will
Yeah.
notify them, one is more going to be used as a search term.
Exactly. It's directly related to search, like you
Yeah.
said. So, it depends, as you mentioned, if a Como are always going every day to see how many times a hashtag a Como was used or how
Hmm.
often and in what context, then that's also kind of a bit of a research tool to see where you're coming up, right? And
Yeah.
where people are tagging you and your company. And it's a good check to do because you might be getting tagged on posts that have nothing to do with you,
Totally.
and that's when you should be reaching out to these specific posts and content creators and going, hey, wait a minute, you're using my tag.
Hmm.
I've got nothing to do with this post. So
Yeah.
if you could kindly please remove it, that would be ideal. Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, that's a good. It's a good asterisk because being tagged is not always good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, let's hit question number 2. So this came from Kiara last week, and
Mhm.
Kiara wanted to know. We talked about campaign hashtags and branded hashtags, and she was concerned about how can you make this hashtag more popular, right? So
Mhm.
maybe you're using a hashtag, but nobody's actually following it, or nobody's actually posting it. So
Yeah.
what can people do in order to make their personalized hashtag kind of bigger, have more reach? What ideas do you have?
So for me, if you want to make a hashtag more popular, even to the level of trending, then what you want to do is get it communicated to anyone and everyone that they should be using it in their posts, and you should be using it in their posts. Because the only way a hashtag is going to get popular is if it's used very, very often. And that's really the only way to get a post trending. And a post getting very, very popular. So, for example, on Twitter, on any given day, you can go in and see what the top trending tweets are and what the top hashtags are related to those tweets. And any given day, there's trending hashtags. So, the reason why they are trending is because there's a significant amount of people who are using those hashtags in their posts. So to give a more simpler and clearer example, maybe we relate it to an event, right? So if you're running a specific event, like for example, Event MB did their Future of the Events Industry yesterday, and the hashtag that they had was hashtag FOE21, I believe, right? Or FOEI or something. 21. Now, what they should have been doing from the very first point of communication for this event, trying to get people to sign up for this event, and in all their marcoms, marketing communications, they should have had that hashtag all the time, telling everyone that wants to use it, if they're going to be doing any posts, that they should put that hashtag into all their posts, into their tweets, into their Instagram posts, on their LinkedIn posts, because that's the only way you can get a hashtag to trend and go and increase popularity. So that would be my answer, is over communicate the use of this particular hashtag with anyone that is related or within the ecosystem of this hashtag. So attendees, event organizers, anyone and everyone, so that the use of it is consistent, and that will just lead to it being popular. Oh, I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
Thank you. So I
You're
think
welcome.
I think that the that's a great example of the event last
Mhm.
night because I actually personally wanted to go into Twitter and and start making some comments and interact and engage. And it took me, I mean, it took me 5 minutes, right, to find out
Yeah.
what the hashtag was, but it shouldn't have taken me 5 minutes. And I think
No.
that's the key. And what I was thinking last night actually is what they should have done is actually on the stream that they had, kind of similar to what we have here, on
Yeah.
an overlay, just put the hashtag. Just
Exactly.
make sure the hashtag is visible because people are going to be using it during an event to find information related to that event. So if they want to be part of the conversation, they're going to search that hashtag. Because if last night I had searched just words event industry or
Yep.
future of event industry, I would have gotten so many results that many of them are not relevant. But if I search that specific hashtag, I'm getting everybody's comments on that specific event. So I think you're
And
totally
even put
right
it on their bio, right? So if you
on
had
the
clicked their
exactly.
Twitter bio and it
Yep,
said, if you're attending event, tonight's event or today's event, this is the hashtag, look forward to your posts, right?
exactly. Yep,
Because then someone doesn't have to search any further. They just hit the
correct.
account and then you get rid of that bit of information after the event is over,
Hmm.
or keep it for a little while because people are still tweeting,
People are still, yeah, exactly,
because
and looking
it's
for
about making it
information.
easy for people,
Yeah,
right, to find that hashtag
exactly.
and to use it and to continuously keep using it.
Exactly. And I think so number one is people are using hashtags to find information. So I think what Sabrina has said, which is just over market the hashtag,
Yeah.
make sure that people are using that when they want to have a conversation is a fantastic way. And a second idea I would give is think about gamification when it comes to hashtags.
Yeah.
There's been some excellent campaigns that motivate people to put them in there because, I mean, let's be honest, like using hashtags, except for some of us, is not
Yeah.
exciting, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
However, if you give people some motivation, you give them a benefit for doing the hashtag, there's a
Yeah.
much greater chance that people are going to use those hashtags. So you can do gamification in the way of giveaways. You can do gamification in the way of discounts. So, like, let's say, let's use the event last night again as an
Yeah.
example. If they had said, please, any communication or social media post you use this hashtag. At
Hmm.
the end, we're going to randomly select one of them that's used the hashtag, or we're going to select our favorite post using this hashtag, and they're going
Exactly.
to win. I don't know.
XYZ. Exactly.
Probably not a trip anywhere because we can't go anywhere right now, but
Yeah.
but something cool,
Maybe a
right? Then
resource or access to something,
exactly,
right?
exactly,
Or a
exactly.
ticket to something else. And
Correct.
that's a great point that you bring up, because oftentimes clients or organizations and brands, they tend to use in those kind of marketing posts, they tend to
Mhm.
use their tag and their
Yep.
hashtag together to get you to do the same thing. So
Right.
event mb would have done a tag and gone, tag us at event mb
Hmm.
and or event manager blog, I'm not sure, depending on
Right.
the platform, right?
Hmm.
And use our hashtag, future of events
Yeah.
21. And then that'll allow them to be notified that you've made the post in the first place because you've
Yeah.
tagged them, and
Hmm.
b, that you've used the hashtag. So it's almost like a double effect, and
Yep.
that will just organically increase the popularity of both the hashtag as well as the engagement activity on your account, because other people are tagging you. So it's
Yep.
almost like a win-win for all, right? Two
Totally.
birds, one stone.
Totally, 100%, 100%. So hopefully, Kiara, that's cleared up a little bit of how to promote your own hashtag because it's a really important point that you make. If you create your own hashtag, make sure you promote it because there's no point to just having a hashtag that's sitting there kind of
Mhm.
wasting space in your post. So
Yeah.
great question. We have 7.5 minutes left, Sabrina. So let's dive into some of these other kind of hashtag topics that we talked about. So last
Mhm.
week we hit on branded hashtags. We basically tried to split it up into categories, right? So we
Yeah.
said branded hashtags, campaign hashtags, community hashtags, and I think we'll see if we have time to go back to those. If not, please go watch the last episode because we
Mhm.
we kind of dove into those pretty well. Let's talk about the two more that we discussed, which is the topical hashtags
Mhm.
and trending. I think those are two other types of hashtags that are very valuable and people should be thinking of when they're using them. So, with topical hashtags, what exactly do we mean by that?
So with topical hashtags, it would be topics of discussion. So, or it could be genres. So for example, you could say fashion, or as a topic, you can say branding or personal branding. And then there's, for example, sustainability or the events industry. So they're more, I would say, top line topics and points of conversation that you want to link that specific content or post to. So that's what I would say is the difference of or what a topical hashtag is.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. It's basically if you can kind of go micro with like we talked about last week, which is
Mhm.
this is related to I don't know my community. This is related to my brand, and then the topical ones is what is this related to kind of on a wider scale, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes
So,
I'll do
so
event
future of
props.
events, for example, is
Hmm.
topical, right? It's a
True. Hmm.
big umbrella topic, the
Totally.
future of events.
Hmm.
So, you're in a way, you're niching it by putting 21 and relating it directly to your event. But
Hmm.
as a topic, it is also one of the more, I would say, popular hashtags that's being used at the moment within our industry, the future of events.
Hmm.
And so that would be a topical hashtag. So, for example, if I were to do a post on, let's mix it up. I were to do a post on what am I going to be doing differently with regards
Hmm.
to sustainability
Hmm.
moving forward in this post-COVID climate, right? That's like a post, for example, an idea.
Hmm.
So the hashtags that you would use, what hashtags would you use for that post, Jason? Because it's good to kind of show people, how would you identify and pick the right hashtags to put with this post? And for example, it's LinkedIn, it's a post for LinkedIn.
Hmm.
And we recommended that you use not more than 3 to 5
Hmm.
max as hashtags for content on LinkedIn and posts. So what are the, say, 3 to 5 hashtags that you would pick for this specific one?
Okay,
Just
can you
so
say
people
the
have an
top?
idea.
You say the topic again one more time. You said
So it's
future.
how would I, or what changes would I make in terms of sustainability when
Mhm.
I'm planning events post COVID?
Cool. All right, nice. I'm on the spot. There's like a quiz. We got 4 minutes. I mean, I would probably do the event profs hashtag because that's the community
Exactly.
that we're
Hmm.
targeting.
That's right.
The topic is sustainability, so I would hashtag
That's right.
sustainability because everybody would
Exactly.
be looking at sustainability. Another topic is the future of events, so maybe do the future of events. How's it
Hmm.
going so far?
Very
Three of
good.
three. All right.
So you've got
Um,
topical, you've got very big topical,
mhm.
and then you've got your community.
Right.
So you're
Exactly.
missing the brand.
So
So
in the brand, I would, if it was content that I created, I would hashtag a Como. If it
correct,
was not related to me, I would not hashtag the brand. Yeah.
exactly.
And so maybe in this other case, what I might do, and this is a nice entry into the other type, is the trending. I might take a look to see which hashtags are trending, to see
Hmm.
if we could kind of ride the trending wave a little bit and find a hashtag that's trending and is somewhat related to that piece of content.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and then, depending on what it is, you could tag, in the body of your post, if you're mentioning virtual events, you
Hmm.
could use virtual events as a
True.
tag.
True.
If you're giving tips, then you could use event planning tips as a
Hmm.
tag.
Hmm.
But it's always, always important to do the search to see how often is this hashtag being used and if this hashtag is being used at all, because that will heavily, heavily affect it coming up in search in general and the algorithm when you actually create that post on those platforms.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. So with the last couple minutes, let's get into trending. I mean, I think everybody has heard the word trending. It's everybody knows what it is more or less, but
Yeah.
let's talk about tactically and strategically how can we use the trending section of Twitter, of LinkedIn. I'm not sure about Instagram actually. Maybe you can answer this about Instagram. But how can we find and then use the trending hashtags to benefit our own posts and our own reach? I'll start with Twitter because I
Yeah.
know that one a little bit better than the other two. But the Twitter is very easy. I mean, in the kind of Explorer section of Twitter, you can see the top hashtags that are trending around the world in your region. And what is a good idea to do is to check on those every day, see what's trending, and if there is something that's trending that you can create content that's related to that,
Yeah.
make some content and hashtag that trend, because there's a good chance that you're going to get some traction there, because that's what everybody's talking about basically.
Exactly.
If everybody's talking about that, if it's what's on everybody's mind, there's a higher chance that you'll get engagement. I'm not sure about the other two, actually, about Instagram and LinkedIn. Have you had any experience with trending topics on those two?
Well, I use Twitter as the barometer for trending
Okay.
hashtags.
Okay.
And
That's a good idea.
so what tends to happen is, because Twitter is kind of like, we discussed this in our Clubhouse call
Hmm.
last week, and how
Yeah.
someone did bring it up that Twitter is the motherboard, essentially, or like the mothership of
Right.
where hashtags were born, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very, very good barometer to have your finger on the pulse to see what is trending, is
Mhm.
just by doing a search for what is trending as hashtags on Twitter.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that you can do is you'll just, when you're scrolling on your feed, whether it's on LinkedIn or it's on Instagram or it's on Twitter, you'll start to see there are certain things that are trending.
Mhm.
People are maybe talking about something that went viral and they somehow resonated with it, and it's just gone absolutely crazy.
Mhm.
And what we do in those cases is give you a good example, which you
Mhm.
used actually recently, which
Oh
is
yeah.
the Zoom cat lawyer. We love the Zoom cat lawyer, right? Everybody loved the
Like,
Zoom cat lawyer.
close to my
Now,
heart.
I know exactly. And so what I loved about the Zoom cat lawyer was that it was an experience that you could just take apart and repurpose and create content for your own posts and your own
Mm.
account, right?
Yep.
So you made a great LinkedIn video with that lawyer video embedded into it,
Yeah.
talking about, how, well, virtual event tech isn't always easy, right?
Mhm.
And how it can be a very, perhaps you should have used an event prof situation.
Mhm.
And I did the same, except I
Yeah.
turned it into a meme on Instagram, right? So
Okay.
I just took a
Mhm.
picture of it. And then what I did was, before you do any of this, you need to see which hashtag is linked to that trend.
Yeah.
And you need to see that because you can search on every single platform if that hashtag exists. So you start with Twitter, you see what's trending there. Then you check back on Instagram in the search field. If you are on Instagram and that's where you want to create content using that specific trend, search for hashtags to do with those things. It could have been lawyer, Zoom cat, Zoom preceding cat, white kitten. There was so many different hashtags. But you
Exactly.
basically pick the most popular one and you attach it to your posts, in addition with the other things that you might be talking about. So for me, it was about event profs. It was about virtual event planning,
Mhm.
virtual event planning tips,
Yep.
event profs community. So it would come up on the feed of anyone that's following community hashtags. And that's what we didn't
Mhm.
talk about, actually, that
Yeah.
there are, you can follow hashtags. You can follow
Yeah.
hashtags on LinkedIn, you can follow hashtags on Instagram, and you can
Mhm.
follow hashtags on Twitter. And what that means is every day you can just check, what posts have been made with event props, for example,
Yeah.
and, any other hashtags. And then it allows you to see what kind of content other people are creating and what you can create under those
Yeah.
community hashtags.
Exactly, exactly, and it's a great tactic. If you are stuck on what to create, first of all, you shouldn't be stuck on what to create because you should have planned this in advance. But if there
Exactly.
is something that pops up like this, which was pretty much an overnight sensation, it's okay to ride the wave. Like, look for trending topics that are related to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Use the hashtag and see if that piece of content performs. I think it's a great strategy and mini tactic. I don't do it all the time personally, but when something so wonderful like a cat filter pops up. I mean,
And this particular cat filter was
just,
amazing.
I mean, you can't help yourself. You just have to join the fun. So,
Yeah.
um, that's all we have in terms of time today. That's already 20 minutes. It goes by fast. I hope this was helpful. Thank you, Sabrina. And we're going to move over to the clubhouse now.
We are.
And if you have any questions, anything else you'd like to discuss about our hashtag conversation, then let's.
You know that could be a terrible sign somewhere. Stop doing the
I should
sign.
stop. Yeah. So thanks everybody. We'll see you in Clubhouse, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All
Bye,
right. See ya.
everyone.
Bye.